Hey Eli, Hodep, what is up, my man?
Dude, I'm having such a bad day today. The Fieldrunners 2 guys decided they're going to charge money for their video game.
That is so unbelievable. It's like they up-res their assets and just threw it out there or something like that.
And then put a price on it that wasn't free.
Oh, so unbelievable. So if you haven't caught it yet, we're playing Fieldrunners 2 HD, the iPad optimized version of the great video game that we played, what, 2 months ago for the first time? 3?
No, I feel like it was sooner than that, but which is another thing people are complaining about.
Oh, how dare they?
Yeah, dude, I was so excited to hear about this yesterday, and it's been nothing but bitching from like almost everyone.
It's unbelievable. You know, here's a little pro tip for everyone out there. A little FYI: video games cost money to make. Don't be surprised when a developer puts a price tag on their video game as a result.
Wait a minute. You're saying that there are people that worked on this that need to buy food and housing and all of that?
It's hard.
Is that what you're suggesting?
It's hard to believe, but this is a thing that happens in the real world. I
don't know. I mean, this sounds made up to me.
Yeah, I know it's a trip at first. But you know what, anyway, so Fieldrunners 2 HD, it is obviously the iPad version of the game, and it looks gorgeous on an iPad 3, which is what we're recording right now. As you can tell, the assets are off the wall. They really are.
So here's what I want to know. My big question with this. When we played it originally, I think we talked about what they were going to do to make it feel like an iPad game.
Mm-hmm.
So what have, in your opinion, what have they done so far?
You know, I haven't spotted any big differences between this and the other version, other than the assets.
Well, they added a couple new towers.
But, did they?
I mean, yeah. Because, like, remember how we were talking about, like, well, maybe they will just make the levels bigger?
Oh,
you know, keep,
right.
like, the UI elements similarly sized and just make, like, the maps larger? Because, I mean, that was at a time where, you know, the marketing for Fieldrunners 2 HD was like, oh, we're gonna do all kinds of iPad stuff, you know, like, don't worry.
Right.
Remember?
Right. Admittedly, I'm really early in the game. I mean, these levels go long. If I were to lob any sort of criticism at the original Fieldrunners 2, is that missions were excessively long, and the lack of checkpointing was an issue.
Yeah, that specifically is why I wanted to play it on my iPad so much, is because, like,
exactly.
I mean, I don't really necessarily have a problem with like a 20-minute long tower defense level. You know, I mean, it does feel long sometimes, but you know what? Whatever. Fieldrunners is fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But dude, on your phone, 20 minutes of uninterrupted playtime is hard to come by.
Exactly. That was kind of a point on a tablet. It's a lot easier just to kind of sit back and enjoy the experience.
And then just set it down too. You know, just like close your smart cover and set it down.
Right. Exactly.
Instead of like, oh, I need to answer this text message, now I'm waiting for the game to load again.
Yeah, it's more of a lean back kind of thing, and that's something I appreciate. I haven't noticed any different spacing or anything like that. They have done a couple just game side tweaks since we last played this game. They kind of made casual a little bit easier apparently, and have modified some levels. Like what's that? Bazaar? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think they changed that on the iPhone version as well, though.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it was just too difficult.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You know, and I'm gonna stay away from that level because I don't want to lose in our video here. But let's do a long one. Let's show everybody what this is all about.
Yeah. Settle in, boys.
Yeah. This should be fun. You know, because I'm really good at this video game. You know, my worst problem with this, or my problem that I have just personally with this game, is that I don't. My OCD makes me want to like make my placements like symmetrical. I don't know.
Yeah. No. I get it. I'm kind of the same way. I want it to all like look good.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I don't want it to look messy, and that's where I run into issues with the game because I lose because I'm like, well, I wanted to look pretty. And here we go, because I'm gonna do it.
Well, I always like have to make my stuff in like straight rows with like symmetrical towers.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see how this goes.
Probably slowly, I'm guessing. You know what? I'll let that guy pass. It's fine. So, have you had a chance to check this out yet?
Well, actually, we got this buying it off the New Zealand store, right? And when you did that, you know, like you were playing it, and they sent us a early code, so that's what I was downloading, and it's in the process of syncing to my iPad actually as we do this.
Oh, there you go. Great. I think you'll dig it, man. Like this is definitely the way that I wanted to experience Fieldrunners 2 for sure. You know, mainly because my 4S's battery is terrible, so I would just have to be anchored to a wall with my phone anyway. You know, if I really sat down with this video game, and you know that's an issue. That is a very big issue with me. So this is nice. Yeah, I mean, I just like playing the play style I have when I play iPad games is just how I wanted to play this. I mean, you know, we've already kind of gone over that, but I mean, like, I don't know, this is just way better, I think. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Boy, is this video game hard.
I mean, it's kind of an interesting point of design. I mean, now that I've spent more time with Fieldrunners 2, just in general on my iPhone, like, I kind of appreciate the balance of things and how you need to have like a actual strategy crafted going into some of the more difficult levels, like before you even start. Like, you know, especially on the higher difficulties, you can't just be like, all right, well, I'm going to build this here, blah blah blah. You know, wait a while, build this here. Like, you need to be like, you know, seeing the matrix of where your towers are going to go, and then build towards that, which I think is neat. And I don't know how you would be able to do that similar kind of thing without having these like 20-minute long levels. Right.
No, you're totally right. Like with this level, my vision was I'm gonna put these flamethrowers in these open spots right here and destroy everything.
Right.
You know, flamethrower's boss in the early game. Though, if you're ever having problems, slap a flamethrower down. That'll fix it. No problem.
I can never decide what like the most effective towers are. And maybe that's like another strong suit of Fieldrunners, is that I never really feel like I'm doing the optimal thing. Like, I just feel like I managed to beat the level with my cobbled together defenses.
Which was a problem that that the actual tower defense game. What's it called? Oh, man, I think it's actually just called tower defense.
Just tower defense.
Right. That was a problem that game ran into in the end game. Is like it had they scripted very specific waves for very specific tower sets, and there was an optimal way to play. And if you didn't play that way, if you didn't catch on to what the developers were hinting at, you lost.
Well, not only I feel like there's a lot of tower defense games that are like that, in that you just get in this weird kind of cycle where every map is like, all right, you start off with your machine gun towers, you know, you upgrade those, you sell those, you get like the laser towers or whatever, you upgrade those, sell those, and you know, upgrade to whatever the next better tower is. But I don't know, I feel like Fieldrunners isn't like that, which is.
No, I mean, it's credit to them, too. Can you imagine what kind of a nightmare it would be to balance this thing?
Oh, God, no. I mean, that also kind of answers the question that we had a while back in regards to, you know, like, what could Fieldrunners 2 do that, you know, hasn't been done a million times already in tower defense? And it turns out that the answer to that is just, like, really good game balancing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Tons of variety, no optimal stuff. Imagine the QA process for this was a complete nightmare, too.
Yeah.
As a result.
Yeah, I mean, and I can understand the people that are complaining about how they bought the iPhone version thinking that the iPad version was going to be, you know, really late to the party, kind of like the original. The delay between the original Fieldrunners and the iPad version was like, what, a matter of years?
Yeah, it was pretty intense, whatever it was.
But I mean, to be fair, the iPad didn't exist when Fieldrunners was first released, so it's a little different. But
yeah, I mean, I think they made it very clear. They might have been a little cagey at first, but they made it pretty clear, I think, that the iPad version was going to be separate and it was going to cost you money, and significant money.
Not only that, but that they were also actively working on it, and it was going to be out as soon as they could get it out. Which, you know, to anyone that was like seriously concerned about it, you would think you would be like, all right, well, you know, I'll just wait. Like, no big deal. I have tons of games to play that, you know, I paid $1 for or whatever. Like, whatever.
Or maybe, hey, I'll just pay a total of $20 for a video game.
Or just buy it twice because I like the game and I want the studio to stay in business. That's always a...
Yeah, that's a good thing. You know, that's the unfortunate thing about the App Store, man. Arguments that people get into over things like this. You're like, of course this costs money.
Here, while you're building up your defenses, I'll actually let's see if I can find some of the better forum posts here.
Okay, great. Man, I can't wait for this.
3 times the cost of the iPhone version and 6 times the file size. I can't imagine whom this is aimed at. People with iPad 3s and no iPhone? What?
Yes.
What? I don't know. How about people with an iPad and money?
Yeah.
A job.
And $10. How much is this? It's $10, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know if that pricing is final yet or not, because the dude mentioned it on our forums that, you know, they were going to do some kind of price thing for, you know, like early adopters.
Right.
Which kind of makes sense. So it might go down.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Give me another one. Give me another good one, Eli. Hold up.
$2.99 or even $3.99 would have sat okay with me, but not this price. I've already paid $1.99 to play on my phone. Now they want this price, like play it on my iPad.
$1.99 is too much, sir. Does this person own a console? Because I seriously worry about him. Because if he ever buys one and sees a $60 video game, I think he might have a stroke.
Also, here you go. Another one. And the award for greediest developer of 2012 goes to Subatomic Studios LLC.
Nice. Nice. I mean, again, you saw me zoom in earlier right there while we were reading funny emails. I mean, this game looks absolutely gorgeous. You can see each of the turret's constituent parts moving and things like that. Like, this is a level of detail that speaks to a developer that actually cared about their Retina assets and explains away a lot of, hey, why wasn't this out immediately? Because this is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, no, their assets and animation have always been amazing. I mean, that was what made the original Fieldrunners even stand apart from everything else, is that no one was putting that kind of effort into their art and design when Fieldrunners came out. I mean, you're dealing with, like, solitaire games and very, very simple 3D stuff.
Right.
You know, like the basic beginning of Unity games and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it just really sets it apart, man. I mean, like, even the animation on just, you know, the dudes, the creeps here, whatever they're called, the dudes who are running up on me. Like, that's great. It's fantastic. The attention to detail is nuts.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope this does well, because I'd really love to see a Fieldrunners 3 or more content.
Yeah.
DLC stuff. I thought the DLC in the original Fieldrunners was great, or
but it costs money.
Whatever you want to call it.
It costs money, Eli. Hold up. How dare they?
Never know what to call, you know, iPhone DLC stuff, because technically, like, when I think DLC, I think something that you're actually, like, downloading on your, like, console, you know?
Right.
Like when you buy some on Xbox Live Arcade, this DLC, you download it.
Right.
As opposed to iPhone stuff, which usually just unlocks.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's an interesting thing because you drop the word even if you use generally like IAP, right? You know, that has negative connotations because, you know, so many free-to-play games have been terrible.
So I think I cleared my throat with my mic unmuted. Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. Anyway, that's a small look at Fieldrunners 2 early game. This is almost kind of like a redux. I think we played these 2 levels in our last look at this video game.
My only knock against this so far is that the load time seems significant, but I can't imagine the assets that are being, you know, dealt with behind the scenes. So
yeah, I mean, you know, if I were to evaluate this just from a gut level, just from this this experience, I do think the load times are kind of a bummer. But I mean, this is probably the ultimate way to play Fieldrunners 2. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, totally.
You know, it looks great. There's tons of content already here. Like, if you haven't already seen Fieldrunners 2, just know that hours and hours and hours of content for the price tag, which is pretty generous. I mean, $10, $20, whatever it is. Fantastic pricing.
Something else to consider. I mean, even if you already played this, you know, play it again with different tower loadout.
Yeah,
see what you can mix it up. I mean, it's fun for me to replay. So
yeah, I mean that's how this game was built, man. But Fieldrunners 2 HD, it'll be available later tonight, and check it out.